magic words in basketball are the Final Four and the state champion. And we have both today live from the Assembly Hall in Champaign as we crown the boys Class AA King. Good morning, everybody. I'm Frank Massoni, and we welcome you to this tournament. And what a dynamite tournament it's been so far. Yesterday in our action, it was Evanston, a winner in overtime. St. Joe's edged Thornton. Last night, Aurora West was red hot, and Chicago Simeon made it 4 for the show. Today, in our first semifinal, unbeaten Evanston meets super quick St. Joe. Then Aurora West challenges the Public League champion. The big day is here. And for more on the games this morning, here's our colleagues Art Kimball and Coach Ron Nikovich.
Thank you very much, Frank and Ron. This is it, the final day of the high school basketball season in Illinois, and what a day it should be.
Well, if it's anything like yesterday, Art, I'll tell you what, it's just going to be a dynamite day. The Final Four here is just as exciting a Final Four as I can remember that we've ever had in the state tournament here.
And nobody can, even at this point, pick a favorite.
I don't know how anybody could possibly pick a favorite. Just a matter of flipping a coin, little shifting sands here and there, and hope for the best, I suppose.
Quick capsule comment, Ron. Westchester St. Joseph against Evanston in the first game. How do you look at that?
Well, of course, Evanston with Everett Stevens, who did so much yesterday and just electrified the crowd with his all-around performance. St. Joseph with 5 players, super quick, jets of a first-rate quality. Great chemistry on their basketball team. It's a matter of foul trouble and how often they have to go to the bench that's going to determine whether they survive or not.
Okay, and just one quick comment. We're about out of time for this segment, Ron, in the second game between Aurora West, of course, and their opposition, Chicago Semi.
Well, here again, we're talking about a guy like Ben Wilson at Simeon, and, of course, we're talking about Kenny Battle at West Aurora. How they go, their two respective teams will go.
Well, we'll see what happens. And one of your network sponsors, John Deere.
Player Herb Williams, the coach of Evanston, whose team is unbeaten. And, Coach, amazing game yesterday against Benton. It was a classic.
Well, like I said yesterday, that's the typical way we've been winning all year. We just come in and our kids decide, hey, we're not going to lose. And they believe in themselves, and they know I believe in them, and they just never give up.
They also have survived every challenge so far this year, and they're led by an absolutely brilliant performer, Everett Stevens.
Well, Everett is a tremendous ball player, and everybody was buzzing about him yesterday, but I really don't think he had one of the better ball games. I look at him in his ball handling. It wasn't up to par, I might say. He kept telling me the ball was slick for him. But, you know, I told him, hey, you have to handle it anyway. And he just didn't have the smoothness that he normally has when he handled the ball.
What about the quickness of St. Joe? Is that a problem for you?
Well, you know, we can have some guys we can throw in. We can throw Mike Cobb in and make us a lot quicker. We have Jimmy Finucane we can throw in and make us a lot quicker. And we have an excellent center in Gene Paul, back up to back up to Klinger, that is very mobile. In fact, he's a track man. So we can, you know, we'll try to see what our quickers can do with theirs.
Thanks and good luck today.
Okay, thank you.
Herb Williams, the head coach at Evanston. Now we're going to bring in a man who's no stranger to the Assembly Hall. The 3rd year in a row, Gene Pignatore of St. Joe.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, tremendous game again yesterday.
Thank you. It was fun.
Is this the quickest team you've ever had?
I think so. Overall quickness, quickest team I ever had, right.
What particular problems has Everett Stevens posed for you today?
Well, he's very quick, and he has size for our small guards, not unlike many of the problems we faced all year. I think the secret today is that we have to neutralize the guards again and do a job on everyone else also.
I thought you got wonderful inside play from Funchess and Buchanan.
Yes, we did, and we're going to have to get that again tonight.
What's the key to the game in your mind, and what's the tempo going to be?
I think we have to do the same thing. I think we have to control the game, we have to play good defense, and we have to board. We'll let the offense take care of itself.
It's been a wonderful tournament. It's a credit to high school basketball in this state.
It really is. It's been a fun tournament. It's a toss-up. Still a toss-up as far as who's going to win.
Well, congratulations on your return visit, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
The head coach of the Westchester St. Joseph Chargers, Gene Pignatore. Now let's go to Art Kimball.
Thank you very much, Frank. And Ron Nikovich, it's the same thing you and I were talking about a moment ago. Everybody says it's still a toss-up tournament, and that's the way it should be on the final day, isn't it?
Well, that's the way it's going to be, too, I'm sure. After yesterday's electrifying game, 3 out of the 4, of course, going right down to the wire. And this one has the earmarks of being the same kind of a situation. It's going to go right down to the wire.
Yesterday, St. Joseph over Thornton, 52-50. And, of course, Evanston, 65-63 over Benton in overtime. in a game some consider one of the all-time classic ball games ever played in the state tournament. And now we're in the upper bracket semifinal matchup. Westchester St. Joseph against Evanston. Very shortly, we're going to have the presentation of colors. The Plainfield High School Pep Band is here this afternoon. They'll be entertaining all day long. And let's bring them on in their color guard with Tom Trent.
Ladies and gentlemen, after the presentation of the colors by the Plainfield High School Color Guard, we ask you to stand and join soloist William Olson of the University of Illinois in the singing of our national anthem as it's played by the Plainfield High School Pep Band.
Colors. There you have the Plainfield High School Color Guard, and of course the Plainfield Pep Band. Very shortly we'll have the intros. In this one, Gene Pingator, 14th year, 272 and 107, a graduate of Loyola of Los Angeles, coaching St. Joseph's, and Herb Williams from Evanston, and Evansville graduate, 9th year, 183 wins and 86 losses at Evanston. All right, now let's meet the players in the starting lineup.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first semifinal game of the morning. Let's meet the players and coaches involved in the contest. First, for the Chargers of St. Joseph High School from Westchester. Their record, 25 wins, 6 losses. The head coach of the Chargers, Gene Pingator. Number 13, Joe Lentz. Number 15, Billy Standback. Number 20, Ken Kucera. Number 23, Chris Maple. Number 25, Tony Brown. Number 31, Scott Gibler. Number 34, Sean Rooney. And now let's meet the starting lineup for the St. Joseph Chargers. At a forward, a senior, 6'3", number 35, Marcus Terry.
6.4 scoring average for Terry, 78% free throw shooter.
At a forward, a senior, 6'2", number 22, Chris Buchanan.
Terry's a 13.1 average, scored 11 yesterday.
At center for the Chargers, a senior, 6'5", number 32, Chris Funches.
Funches with a big 21-point effort in the quarterfinals, 15.6 average.
At a guard for St. Joseph, a sophomore, 5'7", number 10, Tony Freeman.
The super sophomore for the Chargers, 14.4 marks, scored 15 yesterday.
And at guard, a senior, 5'9", number 12, Robert Early.
Early the glue, 6.6 average, and of course Early is the point guard. He scored 2 yesterday, but played a pivotal role. So that's it for Westchester St. Joseph.
And now let's meet the Wildcats of Evanston High School with a perfect record of 31 wins and no losses. The head coach of the Wildcats, Herb Williams. Number 10, Jim Finucane. Number 11, Mike Cobb. Number 32, Eric Dortch. Number 40, Brian Brown. Number 42, Kevin Ackles. Number 43, Steve Wool. Number 50, Francois Jean-Paul. And now let's meet the starting lineup for the Evanston Wildcats. At a forward, a senior, 6'2", number 44, Lewis Wool.
Good, tough inside player, 11.8 average, 7 points yesterday.
At a forward, a senior, 6'4", number 35, Tony Mason.
Fine rebounder, 10.5 average.
At center for the Wildcats, a senior, 6'9", number 45, Steve Clay.
Tallest player to ever play for Evanston got an early foul trouble yesterday.
At a guard for Evanston, the senior, 6 feet tall, number 33, Derrick Brown.
One of the keys to the Evanston comeback and the win over Benton, the average is 7.9.
And at guard, a senior, 6'2", number 22, Everett Stevens.
Stevens, of course, the All-Stater, 17.9 average, 31 points in the overtime win over Benton yesterday. There are the officials, a couple of fine ones out of Peoria, Kirby Ham and Edward Schmidt. And one of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance.
Bud complains about everything. Taxes, the weather, yard work, you name it. So how did Country Companies treat him when he wrecked his car?
Oh, no complaints about that.
When Ed moved his family from Peoria to Wheaton, did he have to look high and low for a Country Companies auto claim center?
St. Joe, a matchup of tough suburban ball clubs, of course, out of the Central Suburban South Division, the Evanston Wildcats and the East Suburban Catholic Conference. Westchester St. Joseph, St. Joe, 1,590 students, all boys. Evanston, the largest school enrollment-wise in the tournament, 3,550. Ron Nikovich is very familiar with both of these clubs, their traditions and their style of play, and we're looking forward to Ron's comments in this upper bracket semifinal, the second game this afternoon, the Blackhawks of Aurora West and Chicago Simeon. Chargers from St. Joe and their traveling scarlet trimmed in black and white. Evanston home white trimmed in navy blue and orange. And there's the opening jump into the corner. Evanston with the basketball. A jumper by Mason misfires. Rebound, Lewis Wool back to the hoop. Off the glass.
He's a hard-working kid, and one of the many kids that we've seen so far that just simply relentless with respect to his efforts.
Gets a lot of mileage out of 6'2" and 170 pounds. All right, here are the Chargers up Miss Early, their fine point guard on the perimeter. The jumper caroms off the outer iron. Shot was fired up by Bunches. Ball stolen. Off the floor to the brilliant sophomore Tony Freeman. Right back out front to Robert Early. Evanston starting man-to-man. Wildcats in the man-to-man defense, holding the basketball. Chargers looking for the good shot. They go to Freeman. The ball stripped away. Loose on the floor. And up with the basketball is Lewis Wool once again as Wool hands the ball. And up over the 10-second line now is Everett Stevens. Stevens comes out front with it to Derrick Brown. There's a whistle. And a little holdout inside. Going to go against Tony Mason, it would appear. That's the foul. It's on Tony Mason. So we have a 2-0 ball game. Evanston leading. The Chargers in possession of the basketball. Boy, Everett Stevens really lit this place up yesterday with a 31-point salvo. There's Herb Williams.
It was one of the great all-around efforts.
Right. Herb doesn't look overly satisfied with that explanation, but that's basketball, friends. Here's Freeman, defensive zone, brings the ball across. On the left-handed dribble, Tony Freeman, lightning quick. He's one of the Jets. He and Early. Early comes out to meet the pass on the right wing. Evanston man-to-man. The big guy has pulled way out now defensively on Chris Bunches. That would be Steve Kling. Trying to slide inside is Chris Buchanan. Back out to Freeman. Very patient. Gene Pingator's ball up early on the perimeter. A shade too hard. Everett Stevens lost the rebound. Fought for it. Fired back in. Underhand follow-up by Chris Buchanan back to the offensive glass. And we got a 2-2 ball game. Little trapping full-court pressure, Ron, by the Chargers.
Yeah, that's the accustomed kind of defense that we'll see by them. And, of course, they'll retreat to their accustomed man-to-man defense into the half court.
That was Lewis Wool from Everett Stevens in the corner. Everett Stevens, a great all-stater for Evanston, wearing number 22. Out here, number 33 with the basketball is Derrick Brown. Brown can play it, too, believe me. Stevens had his turnaround jumper knocked out of bounds by Freeman and by Early. They both converged down there. Early, a stocky 5'9", 175-pounder. The Assembly Hall isn't filled, Rob, but it certainly is enthusiastic.
Yes, it certainly is. Interesting point here. I see Evanston running a little bit of the same offense in 1968 Jack Burmaster ran when Evanston won the title last.
There's Derrick Brown shaking himself free on the inside for just a little short Blue Jay in there at about 3 feet. Coming back down quickly. Freeman. Shot no good. Tip on the inside, and they're going to have a foul over the back. It's going to be whistled against Chris Bunches. And there you see Gene Pingator up on his feet, yelling encouragement to his ball club, the veteran 14-year head coach at St. Joseph Westchester.
The most surprising thing that happened to me this morning was Herb Williams telling me he didn't think Everett Stevens played particularly well. He says he usually gets 3 dunks a game.
I heard him say that. He said he thought the ball was a little bit slick yesterday.
But he only got 31.
Herb told him he had to handle it anyway, didn't he?
I'd like to be that kid's agent.
Oh, man,
that's a bad game for him.
Here's Kling to Wool, right side to Mason. Mason holds it high to the big guy in the middle. Ball is on the floor, and Kling is tied up. And he'll be in a jump ball situation with paper-thin Marcus Terry. Or are they going to call in, I guess they're going to call in Chris Bunches to jump. Nope, we'll go with Terry. Our first call was right.
Terry may be thin, but he'll blow off the floor in this jump ball situation.
Yeah, he can sky a little bit. On the jump, somebody in the circle too quickly. It's going to go to Westchester St. Joseph. There's a prime example a moment ago as Kling let the ball go to the floor. When the big guy has it in that situation, he might as well be 5'9", because he's certainly susceptible to the jump ball or being tied up.
Particularly with the hands that St. Joseph has.
Tony Freeman across for the scarlet-clad Chargers. He works the right side of Buchanan. Low to punch it, half hook, blocked for the foul. Kling. Steve Kling got 3 fouls early yesterday. Scored just 4 points. Now, he's not a heavy scorer anyway, 4.1 average.
We'll see the pass going into Bunches. Bunches, of course, takes it directly into Kling. Almost got a 3-point play out of it, and, of course, Kling was over the top.
Chris Bunches at the line where he's a 78% free throw shooter.
He had 21 points yesterday in the quarterfinals and played superbly.
Did a great job on Darren Guest.
Positioned him extremely well and shot very well from the outside, daring Guest to come out to challenge that outside shot.
4-3, and the Bunches can tie it. He does. We're even Steven at 4-4 in this upper bracket semifinal game. Final day of the Class AA state tournament. Derrick Brown lobs for Everett Stevens. It's picked off. However, traveling after the interception. The interception made by Chris Buchanan, and then he kind of rocked back on his heels and was called for walking.
Yeah, he was off balance a bit on that.
Wildcats inbound to Derrick Brown in the defensive zone, number 33. Kling at the high post. They use him for a screen. Now Kling rolls inside. That's Lewis Wool in the right corner into Kling. 6'9" center, turns, just can't get a rebound. Stevens finally goes.
Well, there's Mr. Stevens at work again, the ever-present Mr. Stevens. Johnny on the spot.
Didn't want to drop, rimmed on it a couple of times, but fell through it. Evanston leads it by 2 at 6-4. Freeman up for Westchester St. Joseph. Sophomore guard on the right side. Here is the jumper up and in.
That's Bunches' spot. He's 1 for 2 from there so far, and of course yesterday about 4 for 6 from the same spot.
Game is deadlocked at 6 apiece. The Wildcats have it. Everett Stevens over the timeline to Lewis Wool. Right back to Mason. Mason puts it on the floor, pulls it up in the paint. On the iron. Great rebound by Bunches. Chris Funches, 6'5" on that defensive iron. St. Joe looking for a go-ahead hoop. Freeman out front to Early. And Robert Early backs it off a little bit. Now they go inside to Funches. Turnaround ever will not go down. Lewis Wool with another key rebound for the Wildcats. They kick it out to Derrick Brown. Evanston trying to run a little bit. Battle of man-to-man defenses so far in this one. And he plays man-to-man all the time, of course. Uses the Bobby Knight philosophy. Certainly Evanston has been successful with a man-to-man. Turnaround by Stevens. He missed the shot as you saw, but a foul should be called on Early. Robert Early, and I believe this will be a shooting foul. We'll see. Nope, they say no. Foul prior to the shot. So the ball will be inbounded near sideline as we view it here by Jeff Mason. Or Tony Mason, rather. Tony makes the play in to Derrick Brown. Brown out front of the right-handed dribble. Tony Mason, free throw line extended left, and Brown drills the jump shot. Derrick Brown, yeah, he just went opposite Tony Mason and hit it on the opposite side. Free throw line extended.
Tony Freeman got lost in that screen a little bit. Of course, the 5'7" guy being picked off by 6'9" guy, he could get lost.
8-6 Evanston, and there's the shot by Funches.
Funches found a new spot, only it's on the other side of the floor.
You know, Funches really comes into his own after last year's team with Darrell Thomas and Tony Reeders as the stars. But here's St. Joseph again, and they've got some experience.
And Funches has so much mobility and can shoot all over the place. The game is tied at 8. Derrick Brown to Tony Mason on the baseline. Got a nice move. Good power move inside by Tony Mason. Really worked for that shot. Knocked it in. 10-8 Evanston.
Another lopsided game in the tournament.
Yeah, another one-sided ho-hummer. Evanston going for its 32nd victory on the season. Down low. Short jumper by Terry won't go. Marcus Terry took one of his rare shots. Rebound Everett Stevens to Derrick Brown. All right, Brown circles out of traffic. He's being picked up defensively. Let's see by who. Fighting through the pick out there as Brown slides to the right side. Wool in the corner. Works off to Brown. To Kling. Kling juggles it. Lost it. Picks it back up. Way out in the right corner now. Has the ball to Lewis Wool. And now Kling tries to post up inside as Wool goes to the paint. His shot won't go. And here's the foul. This is whistled against Westchester St. Joseph. Chris Buchanan.
Here we see the drive by Lewis Wool coming off the big screen of Kling's, and of course the reach-in foul.
That's the third team foul on the Chargers. 2 charged thus far to Evanston, and at the line, Lewis Wool, where he is an 83% free throw shooter. Shooting a pair.
Herb Williams just told Steve Kling, we're going to get the ball in down low to you, and when we get it to you, don't drop it. Hold it up high, turn around, and shoot it.
Free throw is good by Wool.
Good piece of advice.
Yeah, there's Herb Williams, and obviously he has a height advantage inside, a sizable advantage he'd like to use to his the betterment of his ball club.
Bringing that ball down low invites the St. Joe pickpockets to do what they do so well.
Second throw, Lewis Wool. Good, solid basketball player, no question about it. We have a timeout with 2:26 to go in the quarter. Evanston by 4 at 12-8. 2-class series, what, 13 years ago, I guess, Ron?
Yeah, it's the 13th year now, and they may be the 4th AA, and they could potentially turn out to be the 14th overall.
Yep. Time flies when you're having fun, and 13th year of the 2-class tournament. All right, against some pressure, here are the Chargers from Westchester St. Joseph. Mr. Buchanan now back out to Robert Early. Wildcats playing man-to-man, Rob, but they're sagging back in, making it pretty tough to move inside.
Yeah, they're not respecting Early's outside shot, nor are they respecting Terry's outside shot. Consequently, are sagging in a lot on punches.
There's Freeman.
And Buchanan and Freeman as well.
Kling with the rebound, wrestled away, and we got a jump ball. Kling was tied up on a good defensive effort by Funches. Chris Funches, I think, perhaps has been one of the surprises of the tournament. He was a well-regarded player, but he has played so extremely well.
And Buchanan as well.
Yeah. 12-8 Evanston. Wildcats control the jump as Kling at 6'9", swats it off now to Everett Stevens. Stevens double teamed in the corner. They really got the pressure on him to Lewis Wool. Collision, offensive foul, Wool.
Well, they're throwing that charge again.
Take a look at it, Ron.
The position defensively speaking, and then, of course, the nudge. A little acting there, and probably a little grunt as well. And it's always the grunt that'll draw the charge finally.
Make sure the officials hear you. Freeman pulls it up. Was going to shoot, didn't shoot. Funches, baseline. Oh,
that was a tough shot. Very tough shot.
Funches with an 8-point tattoo here in the first period, 12-10. Wildcats by a pair, 1:28 for the quarter. Everett Stevens, and Freeman is on him. Ball is deflected into the defensive zone.
Great defensive pressure by Tony Freeman there. Caught him right over the center line and got him into that corner. It's difficult to wiggle out of that corner.
Freeman, a spectacular sophomore, and playing with that left hand. You can see the left wrist pretty heavily taped.
Doesn't seem to be too bothersome for him, though.
Well, may have a little strain or something of that nature. Here's Marcus Terry, top of the circle to Early. Right back out to Funches. He pulls it up at 13. Oh, in and out. Won't go. The rebound, Buchanan. Moving on the baseline.
Buchanan.
Now right back to Early, and so the Chargers are going to set it up again. They trail by 2. Turnovers. Evanston 6. Westchester St. Joe is just a pair thus far. Here's Buchanan down the lane to Freeman. Tony pops it in.
Give and go. Great pass.
Floodgates open. Freeman accelerated for the bucket, and now a foul called on Robert Early on the press.
Call that meat and potatoes basketball.
Ron, we have seen very, very good, high-caliber basketball in this tournament.
Great execution. Everybody's working really hard out there. The players are working hard, and the officials are. The announcers are, too. Color man, dynamite.
Blue Jays and PJs.
All right.
Derrick Brown has the ball knocked away. Deflected out of bounds. They're going to give it to the Chargers. High ball game, 12 apiece, 45 seconds for the opening stanza. Here is Robert Early into Tony Freeman. Freeman brings it across for Gene Pingator's ball club. To Mr. Funches. Funches right back out to Early, top of the circle with Wool on him. Right side Buchanan being covered by Everett Stevens. That's the defensive matchup. Terry is being covered by Kling, the big man for Evanston. Back out to Tony Freeman. Derrick Brown is on him. Watch that duel. That could be interesting as the afternoon progresses. Back to Early. Early, top of the circle. Bounce pass right side. Now to Chris Funches. Funches gets the ball. Back off left side to Terry. Very patiently. The Chargers now down to 13 seconds. Looking for the good shot here at the end of the opening period. Tony Freeman right side to Early. Early works the ball inside to Buchanan from Funches. Off balance. Shot won't go. Tipped rebound. Everett Stevens. 2 seconds for the quarter. Tony Mason from the dime line is high up in the guy wires supporting the basket, and that's it. After one period of play, we're dead even. As you can see, the Wildcats 12, the Chargers 12, and one of your network sponsors is John Deere.
Have you ever noticed that sometimes the best you can do is settle for second best? Now you won't have to.
Here in the first period, Evanston hit on 5 of 9 from the field, as you can see, and shot 55%. Westchester St. Joe was 5 out of 13. In the first quarter, just 38%. Both clubs 2 of 2 at the line. Rebounding edge 9-2 to Evanston. Evanston turned it over 6 times. The Chargers, who are known to take care of the ball very well, was just 1 turnover. Evanston already has exceeded its win total of 1968 when they won the state championship with a 30-1 record. Right now, they're 31-0. So regardless of what happens here today, unless they would lose 2 here today, they'd be assured of the school's best winning percentage overall for a season.
Back in those days, of course, the tournaments weren't as prevalent as Thanksgiving tournaments. As a result, these days, the more games are being played, and consequently, teams can roll up a lot of victories.
Everett Stevens is stripped, but he got it right back. Stevens steals. He gets a pass off to Tony Mason. Quickest hands in the suburbs right there. Derrick Brown drifts it right. Circles back left. Into Kling. The big guy off the glass there, and of course that's exactly what Herb Williams is looking for.
Yeah, he's looking for him to roll off that screen and get himself positioned down low, and at the same time keep himself moving in that offense, which is identical to the Evanston offense in 1968 against the man-to-man defense. Same kind of situation, using Lackey and Farrell Jones up high.
Out front is Tony Freeman. I'm glad we have a color man old enough to remember that, Frank.
I'm a young guy.
There's Buchanan on the right wing. Well, Jack Burmaster had great success that year, and he also had fine personnel, but did a great deal with them. And
sure did.
Herb Williams has done a super job with this club. Nobody's beaten him yet. Pass intercepted, knocked around, and finally deflected over to Tony Mason. Here's Everett Stevens on the move. Baseline, pulls it up. Airballs it. Swing there. He follows. He got it.
Kling is doing a lot like what Lackey and Farrell Jones did way back then, too. He's become a physical force under.
Gene Pingator seated up. His club is down 4 at 16-12 early on in the second period. And one of your network sponsors is Country Company Insurance. 67. They lost to Buffalo Grove to Maine South. Those last 2 losses in the Maine South Thanksgiving tournament. Also lost to Wendell Phillips. So we're back to play-by-play action. It's Funches. Buchanan trying to post up low inside, and now it's Marcus Terry, number 35, ball handling. Back out front to Tony Freeman. There's an interesting graphic right there. The point scored as a result of turnovers by Evanston and St. Joseph Westchester, and with the jumper up ahead is Chris Funches.
From his spot.
16-14, Chargers back within 2, and ball is deflected away. Let's see what they're going to call. Was that a traveling violation?
No, he said...
Go ahead, Ron.
He got the sideline there. We'll see it right here. The official caught it.
Right on the sideline.
Right on the sideline, right.
Dribbled on the side. Well, I got you guys with me. And I'm glad we had the replay.
Especially the replay.
A salute to Jerry Wheatley in the truck who bailed me out on that one.
They do a great job down there.
They sure do. 16-14. The Chargers with the basketball. Here is Freeman. On the perimeter, Mr. Funches for 2.
Funches has been fantastic with that outside shot. Up until this time, he's been rather unknown, but he's showing a lot of people he knows how to play the game and play it well.
I don't want to overkill the mister, but the way he's playing, I think he should show some respect, don't you, Ron?
Certainly.
16 apiece. Derrick Brown for the Wildcats. Sling is rolling inside. The big guy, number 45. Now here you have Brown going left side. They work low to Lewis Wool, and he got a shot in, but it's not going to count. A foul on Marcus Terry, number 35, prior to the shot.
Well, Lewis Wool is a 6'2" Bruce Baker.
You know, Art, Coach Nikovich mentioned that Evanston running some of the Jack Burmaster offense, and of course Mike Hart, who is assistant coach to Herb Williams, played on that team, and of course Herb Williams played in the first championship game here at Assembly Hall. It was played here in the Big Mushroom in 63% Australia, and now brings the team back trying to play in the championship game that he'll coach.
All some of the state tournament history, Lewis Wool converts. The nostalgia in this place every year is amazing. The links, the stories, the connections various people have with other people and return trips and so forth. The Assembly Hall is developing a pretty good alumni group of people who played here and won here.
And what a building this is, too. You know, all of the new arenas that have sprung up after this place, but this place still remains the flagship, so to speak, of all the new arenas in the country.
Wool cages a pair, and Evanston goes up by 2. That's a big margin in this one, 18-16. Wildcats by a pair. 4 points, the biggest lead. Evanston had that a moment ago. Tony Freeman right side to Marcus Terry. Marcus looks low to Funches, and here's a foul. I think it's on the big guy. I think the reach-in is going to be called on Steve Kling. Yeah, it is. Kling is called for the reach-in foul. Tallest player ever to play for Evanston. They've had some great big men over the years. Farrell Jones, of course, off their 68 state champs comes to mind. And Lackey went on to Marquette and was a great college player.
And a pro career as well.
That's true. At the line is Funches.
We need to mention along the nostalgia lines, too, the point guard on that team was Walt Kern, who's currently the assistant coach and doing such a great job for Rich Falk at Northwestern University.
One more throw to Funches. It is spun out on him. 18-17. Evanston by a single point right now. Up over the timeline is Derrick Brown. Slick 6 foot, 155-pound senior guard. By the way, a straight A student. Everett Stevens to the baseline. Tried to get around Robert Early. Early didn't get there quick enough. That's his third foul. Boy, that could be a big factor because he's the glue with this club. Did not get to the baseline, didn't seal it off quick enough, and had to reach in and drew the foul.
Talking about Derrick Brown, the straight A student, point guard, and he's guarding Tony Freeman. He's got his hands full today. He's doing a great job with it.
All right, they have to take Robert Early out now due to the coaches at Westchester St. Joseph, and the sophomore comes in, Billy Standback, 5'10", a 150-pounder. Scored 3 points in that 2-point win over Thornton yesterday, but really made a contribution. Everett Stevens, who's been limited to 2 points so far this morning, is at the line. Deep breath. Good look at Everett Stevens. Free throw is on the way. He got it.
Unusual technique in that he'll take that deep breath twice and clutch up twice before he shoots. Some people probably would be inclined to correct that and perhaps have him shoot in rhythm rather than to upset that initial rhythm that he establishes at the free throw line.
Steve Kling, the 6'9" center, has gone out for a breather for Evanston, and Brian Brown, a 6'5", 170-pound sophomore, wearing number 40, has come on for him. Stevens got a pair. 20-17, Evanston by 3. Not quite to the halfway mark in the second quarter. Tony Freeman to the 10-second line. Taken in defensively on him is the young man, this discussed by Ron Nikovich. Derrick Brown, number 33. Freeman loses. Ball deflected away. Wildcats have it. Everett Stevens, but he turned it over. Everett got going very quickly, and the ball bounced up, hit him in the knee, it looked like.
That's the case of being too quick for the ball.
Might be. Herb Williams said that Stevens was complaining to him about the ball being too slippery. And, of course, the ball is new, and it appears to be that's a problem for Stevens.
That's always a problem in tournament play, that tournament officials have a habit of cracking out a brand new ball, when in reality an old one should be used.
On the drive, Marcus Terry, and they're going to call the foul. Looks like it's going to go against St. Joe. It does.
Yeah.
Foul is whistled against Chris Buchanan. 1-on-1 situation.
You see the move inside. PJ, a little bit in the blue, the reach over foul.
Yeah, Buchanan slid in over the back of Louis Wool, and Wool is at the free throw line. Second foul on Buchanan. Good looking, Chris.
Yeah, we see a lot of basketball players wearing T-shirts under their jerseys these days, and his is inverted. I think he's wearing his under his trunks.
Patrick Ewing started that at Georgetown.
What a trend. Of course, Art will recall in his day that when the jerseys were 100% wool, you were compelled to do that, weren't you?
That was right after we took the ball out of the peach basket. That took time. That slowed up the game. That's the reason for the center jump.
Leather nets.
Leather, no, Kane. Second throw by Wool. First one he's missed, first one Evanston's missed. 21-17, Wildcats back to that 4-point lead. Tony Freeman on the attack. Works right side to Chris Funches. Funches really being shouted out there. Is Brown doing a good job on him right now. Here's Freeman. Still defensively on Freeman. You have Derrick Brown. Two Browns in the lineup right now for Evanston. Brian Brown and Derrick, or Derrick is the starter. Brian's wearing number 40. He's on Funches. Buchanan being covered by Tony Mason. Into Funches. He got it.
Funches is working that much harder to get open now with the new defensive assignment.
Boy, do they work that offense beautifully.
They execute beautifully.
21-19, Evanston clinging to a 2-point lead, looking for their 32nd consecutive victory without defeat. A phenomenal year. Derrick Brown, left side to Lewis Wool. Wool looks off right to Brown. Brown doesn't get the ball to him. Now he gives it to Brown. Back out front to Derrick Brown.
Fine leader.
Indeed he is. They're posting up Everett Stevens low, and frankly, Evanston's had a lot of trouble getting the ball in Stevens' hands so far. Brian Brown trying to move it on the drive against Funches. Boy, if you like man-to-man defense, this is the place to be this morning. On the drive, Stevens. Shot hit the side of the backboard. Out of traffic. Tony Freeman for the Chargers. They're looking for the tie. Back out to Freeman. It is no good on the iron. The rebound, Everett Stevens. The shot was taken quickly by Billy Sandback. Stevens has 2 men to beat. He fails. He shoots. He scores. No bucket. Gene Pingator very, very happy with the call. We're going to see it again.
We will see the opportunity for the Blue Jay. He should have dished it off. It could have been this kind of a situation, a pull-up, jump shot, but not a shot instead of pass, left or right, and it would have been an easy layup.
Ron, didn't the rules take that judgment call away from officials in the high school ranks?
Sure did.
But no goal.
No goal. No way. Right.
Tony Freeman across. A rule that has not been too controversial after the early season, really. It was in the early going.
Yeah, the controversial rules remain, of course, the 2 timeouts per half and the bench decorum rule.
There's a rebound by Funches after a miss by Buchanan on a foul. And Funches, as you can see, is very unhappy. Didn't get the ball to stick. There's Gene Pingator doing a little pacing out in front of the Chargers bench.
It's interesting to note at this period in time that Stanback in the game, 2 sophomore guards. Stanback entered yesterday. He looked a little shaky at the outset, but his confidence level increased the more he played, and of course played in that very clutch situation. Now he's entered the game. He's as loose and as free as can be, and incidentally, he's guarding Everett Stevens.
By the way, that foul was on Stevens. That's his second. Funches, Red Benito.
Sandback's only a 150-pounder and 5'10". That's why Stevens took him down on the low blocks and tried to post him.
Now, 150 pounds, Frank, I don't know. That may be true in Art's case, but it's not in Sandback's case.
The stat sheet shows it, but that's all.
I'm not going to touch that line at all. 21-21, we're tied. A couple of free throws by Chris Funches. Here is Everett Stevens, double teamed at the timeline. Off to Tony Mason. He whistles the pass to Derrick Brown. Both of these clubs pass the ball crisply and with authority. Derrick Brown circles into the free throw line. Now, as you can see, back to back off. That's Tony Freeman on him. Brian Brown sets the pick. Wool Wool to Brian Brown. Low. Shot won't go. Rebound out of there. Little Tony Freeman at 5-7. He roars it down. Looking for a go-ahead hoop. On the drive. Hammered as he goes to the basket and a foul on Derrick Brown of Evanston.
You know, he might have looked out of control, but he wasn't. He was in complete control, knew what he was doing, and we'll see in the replay as he pushes the ball up the court, he drew the defense to him, put the ball up, hoping for the two-point play, but knowing, of course, that he would draw the foul.
I don't want to ask a question that's going to get you fellas upset at all, but answer me this. How in the world does Freeman get the ball off the defensive board?
Well, it's not going to upset me, but Frank can answer that.
At 5'7", he came flying out of there with a defensive rebound. Made the free throw.
Frank's a former guard. He knows what happens in those situations.
You got it. I'll explain that later.
All right. We can hardly wait. Timeout for the Wildcats. 22-21 St. Joe, and one of your network sponsors, the We have a score in the NCAA tournament at halftime. Indiana leading Virginia 26-23. Herb Williams is going to reinsert his 6'9" center for Evanston, Steve Kling. 22-21, St. Joseph leading by a point. So they have taken Brown out of the ball game. That's Brian Brown. Otherwise, the lineup remains the same. So Evanston has its big tower, the tallest player ever to play for the Wildcats, back in the lineup. Tony Freeman is at the line. Now, Kling is not in any foul trouble. He has 2, but nothing critical. Free throw by Freeman. He made the second into the 1-and-1. So St. Joe, that's their biggest lead, 2. 23-21 over Evanston. Wildcats have it. Trapping zone press, full court. Tony Mason from Everett Stevens. Here's Mason against the double team. Out front to Derrick Brown. Then as Derrick Brown gets the ball, the Chargers kind of back off defensively because he is such an exceptional ball handler.
Yeah, they're trying to jam up the middle on the roll-offs from the high post picks that are being set in that offense as well.
Mason got the shot. And the foul has been whistled against Marcus Terry.
See the cut down the lane, little ball fake, which was enough, of course, to draw the foul, get the shooter the room that he needed.
Now we have another lineup change for Evanston. They're going to take Everett Stevens out for a little bit of a breather, and on for the Wildcats comes Mike Cobb. Cobb scored 1 point yesterday.
You may recall yesterday when Stevens took his 30-second breather, he came back in like he had been on a 2-week vacation. Set the place on fire.
Well, Stevens has really been contained in the first half. He has 4 points, and he just hasn't had the ball much. Great defensive job on him.
The standback is on him now.
Mason.
One part of Stevens' game that we were noticing yesterday is great defensive work. He stole everything in the second half at Art's glasses, and he had 3 steals in about 30 seconds and turned the game completely around for Evanston.
I think he did get my pencil case. Second throw by Mason. He hits the pair. We're tied. 23-23. Quickness has been the name of the game, coupled with physical strength and athletics. That's it.
Great pass inside.
Buchanan Powers can't get it. Rebound. Hold on by Lewis Wool. Boy, you got to like Lewis Wool. What a tough ball player he is.
Oh, yeah.
Derrick Brown to Tony Mason. Mason on the glide. Kicks it back out front to Derrick Brown. Brown's going to set it up against this the Charger man-to-man defense. Stand back has the assignment now. Defensively over there on Cobb. Inside Mason with the hook off the glass.
Power move inside. Semi-hook shot. Just a great
25-23. Wildcats lead it by 2. With the basketball is Freeman. Now remember Robert Early, the playmaker for St. Joe, is on the bench for foul trouble. There's an errant pass. Turnover. Evanston gets it back with a chance to increase their lead to 4 with 1:12 to go in the game's first half. Full court pressure. Been intense. While Westchester St. Joe, here is Mason. Mason clears to Lewis Wool. Wool very seldom gets a breather. He and Derrick Brown pretty well will go the distance for Herb Williams. Derrick Brown holds the basketball. Stand back is on him defensively now. And Cobb is being covered by Tony Freeman. Freeman moves out on Cobb. There's Mike Cobb with the basketball top of the circle. Playing against Chris Funches. He bounce passes down low to number 33, Derrick Brown in the paint.
Oh, that was a great move. Spun off that screen, shot the Blue Jay, rose up vertically.
Here's the steal. Freeman falls down. Derrick Brown loses the ball to Freeman.
Right back.
They get it right back. 4-point lead Wildcats. Half a minute for the half. Freeman in the paint. Pulls it up. Got it.
Well, now, if that's not Isaiah Thomas, I don't know what is. That's a 5'7" Isaiah Thomas.
27-25, Evanston by 2. They'll play it for 1 here at the end of the half. We're down to 15 seconds and still counting. Derrick Brown works left side to Lewis Wool. Off the side to Mike Cobb. Cobb whirls to the paint. Mid roll, so good. Rebound, punches. 1 second to go. Freeman got it. No basket. No basket. After the buzzer, but not by much. Just an instant after the buzzer. There you see Herb Williams, the coach of the Evanston Wildcats, walking by, and we've got a great upper bracket semifinal. So we're at halftime, and Evanston leads it by 2 in a seesaw first half. The Evanston Wildcats on top, 27-25. There you see the story, and one of your network sponsors is John Deere. Let's be entertained now and pick up the pep band from Plainfield. To Phillips, Maine, South Buffalo Grove, Weber, and Carmel. So the Westchester St. Joseph Ball Club, however, has not lost recently. They've been playing very good basketball down the stretch, and we're set to go.
And a couple of those losses occurred at the Proviso West Christmas Tournament, which seems to annually produce a Final Four team, if not indeed a state champion.
Okay, stepping in to jump now for Westchester St. Joseph is Chris Buchanan against Everett Stevens. Evanston moving to our right and Westchester St. Joe to our left, and the Wildcats have the opening jump ball of the third period. With the ball out front now is going to be Derrick Brown. Brown looks to Lewis Wool, and Buchanan knocks it out of bounds. Good quick hands from Chris Buchanan.
Well, it looks like Evanston setting up in a 1-4 set offense this time, an adjustment from what we saw earlier at the outset of the ball game when they were more on a 1-2-2 setup.
Lewis Wool to Derrick Brown, right back to Wool. Wool being covered by Buchanan. They work the ball inside to Mason. Back to Lewis Wool on the baseline. He was fouled. Really took it to the basket, but Chris Funches picks up the personal. That's foul number 2 on Funches.
We'll see Lewis Wool taking the ball into the baseline area there, pulling up for approximately a Blue Jay, but it was a PJ all the way. Fell short because of the foul.
Wool will be shooting 2. He's 5 out of 6 at the line on the ball game. We are now playing an afternoon game, fellas. We started this thing in the morning. Wool is at the line. Got it.
Might notice, Art, that St. Joe has not come back onto the court with Robert Early, their senior point guard, who's got 3 fouls. So Gene Tignator elects to start without him in the third.
Staying with the sophomore, Billy Stanback out there. One more throw to Lewis Wool.
I think he's satisfied with his poise.
Second throw.
Certainly with the defensive job that he did during the time he was in the first half.
Youngsters mature in a hurry down here in the state final setup. No question about that. Here's Buchanan.
Remember a year ago what happened to Eddie Horton from Springfield Lansing, who came in just a little bit shaky, but from that point on became a man.
Tony Freeman tries to feed inside to Buchanan. Intercepted. Picked off by Everett Stevens to Brown, down to Wool. Wool lost the ball on the drive. And let's see how they're going to call it. I think the foul was on Wool. There was a collision. Wool is shaken up on the play, and Wool did pick up the foul.
You see the steal coming up. Ball being pushed down the court very quickly by Stevens. The pass off, another pass, but the man coming down the middle was just a little bit too anxious, and the ball got stripped, and of course he lost his balance and the consequent foul.
Wool seems to be okay. Okay, here's the inbound pass. Tony Freeman. Freeman inside the paint on the baseline. Great speed to Funches on a foul. That's
what Freeman can do so well. He can pull up and shoot it or dish it off without getting into a foul problem situation. Freeman pulling up now, passing off to his right, and the foul, and a good foul too.
Chris Funches has had pretty good success at the line, and let's see, on the afternoon he is a 5 out of 6.
John Deere and your local John Deere dealers are proud to be co-sponsors of these IHSA basketball telecasts. We hope you're enjoying our coverage, and we'll be back tonight at 6 as we crown the 1984 champion.
Second throw by Funches, got up there. Well, Funches having a great ball game. That's 19 points, 29-27, Evanston by 2. Playing leaves for Evanston in the Wildcat lineup for the first time today is Francois Jean-Paul. He's 6'5 and a half, a 210-pound junior. Wildcats with a 2-point lead. Early stages, third period. Everett Stevens gets the ball off to Mason. Stevens has been very, very quiet, and that has to concern Gene Pingator.
And Stanback remains the man who is guarding him and doing a fine job. He's got good vision to the ball and his man as well, and he's involved, very much involved defensively.
Tony Mason up and in from Gene Paul. Mason now with 8. 31-27. Evanston back to the 4-point lead. Stanback, the sophomore, up over the timeline, number 15 for Westchester St. Joseph. Funches to Freeman. Freeman back iron. Shot won't go. Rebound, Tony Freeman. Baseline left, eyes the bucket, little 10-footer.
Oh, Freeman a steal, Freeman a rebound, Freeman a shot, Freeman everything.
31-29. 2-point lead. Evanston with the basketball. Derrick Brown. Brown left-handed dribble with Freeman on him defensively. Both clubs have been straight up man-to-man throughout. That's Lewis Wool holding the ball high, number 44. To Derrick Brown down in the right corner of the floor. Brown challenged by Freeman. Back to Wool. There's Everett Stevens over stand-back, in and out. You can't buy one right now, and over the back is going to be called on Francois Jean-Paul.
Stand-back is really beginning to pick up now. He's no longer a sophomore out here.
Stevens just hasn't had many shots at all. He has only one field goal. Scored 31 yesterday. Okay, the ball inbounded by the Chargers. They're looking for the tie once again. 31-29, Evanston. Westchester St. Joe. Here is Tony Freeman. Freeman in the corner. Back out to Funches. Jumper good. Tie ball game. First spot. What isn't his spot? He's drilling from all over. 31-31. Evanston defensive zone having a little trouble now with this trapping pressure. Tony Mason for the Wildcats turns it, brings it up court, right back to Everett Stevens. Anywhere Stevens goes, he's got his caddy, Billy Sandback, right there with it. You can see it off on the right side of your screen. Sandback, the sophomore, really covering the All-Stater. Lewis Wool on the perimeter. Wool with his second field goal at long range. He has 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 points. Currently counting, maybe 12. I'll check it for you. 33-31, Evanston by 2. Marcus Terry, no good. Rebound, Buchanan.
Boy, great rebound by a 6'2 player. Just flew off the floor and got that ball with great assertiveness and put it back in the hole.
Chris Buchanan deadlocks it at 33. Everett Stevens to Derrick Brown.
Quick jumper, isn't he?
That's the key.
Here's Derrick, free throw line extended left. Out passes out front as he clears the ball to Tony Mason. Right back to Derrick Brown. Brown launches it, hits the side of the board almost. Stand back, the freshman brings the ball, sophomore, I should say, brings the ball back down to Freeman. Freeman got it.
Sophomore to sophomore, coast to coast.
35-33, and now Westchester St. Joseph leads by 2. Out of the East Suburban Catholic League. The poorest record of the 4 teams still alive for the state title, but that means little or nothing here today. Holding high is Jean-Paul. Francois Jean-Paul for Evanston. Back out front to Derrick Brown. With 4:21 to go in the third period. Lewis Wool, baseline right. Gets the ball to Jean-Paul. Thunders to the glass. Shot won't go. Foul on Funches. That's his third.
We'll see on the replay that Funches was just a shade late in dropping off his man in an attempt to draw the charge and was moving as the penetration took place there. And, of course, the blocking foul was a good call.
And at the line is going to be Jean-Paul shooting 2. 6'5", 210-pound junior. Boy, did he power his way to the glass.
He's a powerful player. Once again, that block charge situation takes a lot of courage.
He can tie it if he makes them both. Westchester St. Joseph leads by 2. Semifinal round of the AA state tournament. Jean-Paul's free throw, good.
He willed it in, didn't he?
Yeah, hit on the back iron, straight up in the air and back down through the cords to make it 35-34.
Thought he was on a golf course there, willing in a putt.
Jean-Paul, deep breath, second throw, got him there.
Automatic.
35-35. All right, Tony Freeman against Derrick Brown. Freeman brings it up. Brown drifting right, coming back left in the paint, lost the ball. That was Freeman, lost it with Brown on him. And now we have Derrick Brown called for the double dribble. Ball will go right back to Westchester St. Joseph.
Well, these officials are on top of every play. They're really working hard.
Kirby Ham from West Peoria and Ed Schmidt from Peoria. Ball will be inbounded to Sandback from Freeman. Sophomore guard Sandback has played a lot of basketball out here this afternoon. Ball is thrown away this morning and this afternoon. He came in, Billy Sandback, when Robert Early picked up his third personal foul early in the game's second quarter. Tied at 35. Evanston with a chance to take the lead. Everett Stevens. Stevens works the ball to Tony Mason. Mason holding to Everett Stevens. Right back out front to Derrick Brown. Brown, free throw. Oh, stripped away from behind by Tony Freeman. To Buchanan, back to Freeman. The sophomore roars in. Shot is up, off, no good. Gene Paul with the rebound. He sort of swats the ball out to Everett Stevens, and Evanston comes the other way with it. The Wildcats, Derrick Brown walks the ball to the 10-second line. Everett Stevens, they're trying to get away from the sandbags. You can see him, you can't see him right now. Now they get the ball into Gene Paul. Low to Wool. Shot is blocked by Buchanan. Buchanan got a piece of Wool as he went up and deflected the ball away and picks up the foul.
You see the fine pass in from Gene Paul inside to Wool and punches, or was that Buchanan? Buchanan it was who got a piece of his hand on the shot attempt.
Art, I think one thing Evanston's showing is that they're not a one-man team by any stretch. Everett Stevens lit up the place yesterday with everything, but they're here in a tie and shooting for the lead against a very good St. Joe team, with Stevens having for him certainly an off game.
Free throw by Lewis Wool is good.
An off game up until this point. Historically, that fourth quarter has been his bailiwick, so to speak.
I said on that foul, Buchanan got a piece of wool. I guess I should have said a yard of wool or something of that sort. Huh? That's the line is Lewis Wool. He's played extremely well today for Evanston. 36-35, Wildcats by one. Still by one, Buchanan. Skies for the board. Off to Tony Freeman. Here's Freeman down. Marcus Terry, number 35, baseline left, has the basketball. Out to Funches, 4-2 shot.
Left side or right side, it's about an 18-footer or so, and he just loves it.
23 for Funches. He scored 21 yesterday in the two-point win over Thornton of Harvey. Double team is on. Whistle foul. 37-36 St. Joe. Foul has been whistled on Marcus Terry. That's his third. 1 point lead to St. Joe. Common violation. That is team foul number 4 on the Chargers in the second half. And Evanston has been tagged with 3. We're going to have a timeout. Timeout. 1 point ball game right now with St. Joseph up. And one of your network sponsors is 1970 LaGrange Club, 31-0. Dalton Thornridge, a great team in 72. They won back-to-back titles, one of them undefeated. Lawrenceville, of course, with their 2 Class A championships. McLeansboro here a week ago tonight. And Evanston, of course, could accomplish the same thing. They have that potential. They're 31-0 right now, the only undefeated team left in the firing. But St. Joe leads them by 1 here at 37-36. Indiana and Virginia, we understand, tied early in the game's second half. Try to keep you posted as we receive scores this afternoon. Turnaround effort is up and off by Gene Paul. Rebound, and Billy Standback comes out of traffic with it.
And now he's going to run the offense.
A sophomore who has matured rapidly as this tournament has progressed. Funches, he got another one. Oh, he's phenomenal.
Phenomenal shooter is right.
St. Joe, 39-36, 3-point lead. Evanston with the basketball. Gene Pinketor's ball club has certainly come to play this year. Probably one of Gene's finest coaching jobs, Ron, because he hasn't had the awesome talent he's had in some years.
Not at all, but the chemistry of the basketball team reflects the great coaching.
Technical foul. The basket's going to count, hanging on the rim, but Everett Stevens, that may get him going. He really moved the baseline, hit the slam dunk. Let's watch
it. The slammer coming up now, and of course he really exploded off the floor for a 6'2" player and probably did something he had to do on a survival basis there and hang on the rim momentarily to prevent that crash to the floor.
I would imagine Herb Williams will happily take that because he needs Stevens to get going offensively.
And, of course, the basket counts.
Right. 39-38, St. Joe by 1. Tony Freeman will shoot the tee. He got it. I thought sophomores were supposed to be nervous in tough pressure situations.
Well, this one loves to go to the free throw line.
He's given St. Joe what in this ball game is a big lead, 2 points, 40-38.
I remember when they said about Isaiah, and a child shall lead them.
Indeed he did, and still is. Well, we're now in the NBA, and St. Joe forces it, throws it away. Bounce pass got away as Marcus Terry would like to have that basketball back. Evanston with a chance to tie. The Wildcats, Everett Stevenson to Gene Paul. Back out to Everett Stevens. To Derrick Brown. Right side to Lewis Wool. The floodgate opens. He got it.
He took advantage of that brilliantly. The overplay by Buchanan missed. He took him backdoor and, of course, had the easy basket.
Got a step and a half on the defender and made it 5 giant strides as he went to the whole 40-40 ball game. Art Kimball with you. Ron Nikovich, the head basketball coach at Lyons Township High School in Grange and Frank Mazzoni. Shot by Funches was deflected. Ball was called out by stepped out of bounds, and the ball's going to go right back to St. Joe.
See the jump shot that was blocked partially. Two Evanston players collided, and I'm not too sure what the call was on that.
Well, he said he stepped out of bounds, but of course the replay may have shown him prior to actually rocking back. That seemed to be the indication. At any rate, Marcus Terry makes the play into Billy Standback out between the circles. Tied at 40. Turnover count, 14 for Evanston, 9 for Westchester St. Joe.
Evanston in his own defense as a result of that baseline out-of-bounds play, and will probably stay in his zone for this possession.
Hart 40, Brian Brown in for Evanston. Lewis Wool hurt himself a little bit. Now he's going to come right back in, but Brian Brown is in there now.
All right, thank you for the head assistance there, and here's Tony Freeman back foot late on the dribble. First time I think Wool's been out the entire tournament. He's getting ready to report, however. Here's Standback, the sophomore. Can't get it down. Gene Paul rebound. Everett Stevens has 2 to beat. There's Everett on the move, and he's fouled by Tony Freeman. Stevens got into the paint where he's big poison. You let him get the ball in there, he's liable to put it down on you. Tony Freeman committed his first personal foul.
Stevens pushing the ball up the court. He's looking for an opportunity. He cuts to this direction, and of course at that particular point, Freeman attempted to strip, but got too much of the wrist in the process.
All right, going to the line, it's going to be Everett Stevens. Stevens with a total this afternoon of 6 points. He'll be shooting a pair. 2-shot violation. 53 seconds, all that remains in the third quarter of a tie ball game. There's the deep breath.
Stevens about ready to bust loose. We're entering the fourth quarter part of the ball game, and this is the part of a game that he seems to enjoy the best. He'll break loose.
Lewis Wool back out there. He has 14 points so far for Evanston. He's been their scoring leader today. 40-40. Free throw here by Stevens will give Evanston the lead. Evanston 41, St. Joseph, Westchester 40. 49 seconds and counting. Tony Freeman across. Being hounded out front very much done by Derrick Brown. Buchanan, Billy Standback. St. Joe looking for the good shot here at the end of the quarter. They trail it by 1. Tony Freeman backpedals, half a minute to go in the quarter. On the right side, Marcus Terry. Terry right back out front to Buchanan. Buchanan off to Freeman.
Freeman or Funches, Howard, one of those.
Yep. 16 seconds to go in the game's third quarter. 41-40 Evanston. Standback to Tony Freeman, the sophomore guard. Marcus Terry loaded Buchanan to the hole. Great play.
Tyree spins around to his right well, using his left hand.
Wheel to the hoop. There's a long bomb by Mason, and that's it after 3. After 3 periods of play, we still have a sizzler. You see it. St. Joseph leading 42-41. And one of your network sponsors is DeKalb Pfizer Genetics.
Game if that kind of thing materializes, and he's a master at it.
Evanston 13 of 25 from the field, shooting 52%. Westchester St. Joe with 3 more field goals, 16 of 35. They're shooting 45%. Free throws 15 of 18 for Evanston, 10 of 11 for Westchester St. Joe. Rebounds Evanston with a lead of 4, 17-13 turnovers. Wildcats 13, Westchester St. Joe 8. Here we go, 8 more minutes maybe. Official Kirby Ham has spotted something on the floor, and they're going to hold up play until he removes the object that landed on the floor here at the Assembly Hall. Ed Schmidt from Peoria, Kirby Ham from West Peoria. That's Kirby, went over there and handled the cleanup operation. Set to go. Buchanan swats it off to Derrick Brown for the intercept for Evanston. Brown brings it down, can put his glove on top. His shot was blocked. Great defensive play. Is that Freeman sailing through the air over there?
Yeah, that's not Freeman. That's Isaiah. Well, it's Freeman, of course, and a great defensive play, knocking the ball out of his hand.
Early is back out there now, and he has not replaced Standback. Oh,
my goodness.
Alley-oop to Everett Stevens for the slam dunk. Evanston leads at 43-42. So 3 guards on the floor now for the Chargers of Gene Pingator. Punches up front with Buchanan. They've taken Marcus Terry out and gone with Early in the backcourt along with Standback. Now Early's going to play the off guard. Standback on the point. Here's Punches.
Punches heard that shot. He heard that one.
Flat-footed rebound to Everett Stevens. 43-42 Evanston. Circling right now. Derrick Brown for the Wildcats out of traffic. The winner will battle for the state championship tonight against the winner of the second game between West Aurora and Chicago Simeon. Lewis Wolf shot no good. Tony Mason for two.
Great rebound. Really got in position for the missed shot and took it up there with great authority.
Remember, as the fourth quarter started, Stevens a dunk and a rebound, and the momentum goes to Evanston.
And on the drive, Tony Freeman getting a little of the momentum right back for the Chargers, the Westchester St. Joseph. 45-44, Evanston by a point. I'll tell you, Francois Jean-Paul was giving Evanston a whale of an effort off the bench in the second half of this ball game. Big number 50 out there.
He's been a force inside.
Man-to-man matchup. Stevens stripped to the basketball, but he was fouled, and Billy Sandback picked it up.
Stevens is getting warmed up now. It's the fourth quarter.
Well, going to the line is going to be Everett Stevens, who has drilled in 3 out of 4 in the afternoon. Stevens with 9 points after scoring 31 yesterday. But as Ron and Frank have pointed out, this is the final stanza. It's showtime as far as Everett Stevens is concerned. He's shooting 2. Everything's very, very important in this airtight affair. 45-44 Evanston. Free throw up and off. Can't get it down. We'll have one more throw. Still a pick'em tournament. Still a pick'em ball game at this point. Stevens backs off free throw line. Now steps back up there. This is the second shot of the 2-shot foul after missing the first one. Evanston leads it by 1. Everett Stevens with the deep breath. Got it. 46-44. The Evanston lead. 2. Defensive zone. Tony Freeman for the Chargers of St. Joe. He's down in the attack, top of the circle on his left. Number 12 is Early. Early driving to the baseline, rolling to the baseline. Here's the other sophomore guard, Billy Sandback, out front. Being shadowed by Lewis Wolf. Off on the right wing to Buchanan.
Gotta hit that
Early. No good. He missed it. A rebound. Tony Freeman scoops it up in the paint. It will go. Early with the rebound once again. Early, stocky backliner. Sky on the step ladder. Early only goes 5'9".
He's a 5'9" rebounder.
With the ball, right side is Freeman. Freeman to stand back off, down to Buchanan. Buchanan puts it on the deck, down the lane, got it.
Great move. Somebody could have stepped in to draw the charge on that one.
Tied at 46. Buchanan with 8 points. Everett Stevens. Stevens over to Tony Mason. Mason to Lewis Wool. Wool left side now to Derrick Brown. Back out front to Everett Stevens. Stevens still being covered by the sophomore. Stand back. Takes stand back inside. Got it.
It's the fourth quarter, fans.
Everett Stevens flashed around Billy Sandback. 48-46 Evanston. Tony Freeman over Jean-Paul for 2.
Now that's call a PJ.
Well, you talked about that throughout yesterday, Ron, and he had no chance going in against the 6'5" guy. Just pulled up and drilled it.
48-48 ball game. 5-17. You ask about the time situation. It's been a paper-thin margin for both clubs all afternoon long. This thing started this morning. Jumper by Brown. It's good. Derrick Brown.
Brown shook loose to the St. Joe defense and got open for that shot. You see the St. Joe defense, a slight change with Early covering Stevens now.
Basically man-to-man defense with a little sag, a little help from both clubs, but they've been pretty much straight up. Punches is jostled by Tony Mason. Mason picks up his second personal foul. 50-48. Blocking foul has been called. Gene Pincator up talking to his troops along with his assistant. There you see a very concerned Herb Williams, head man at Evanston, kneeling in front of the Evanston bench.
Country Companies Insurance and the nearly 1,000 Country Companies agents are delighted to have you watching this afternoon. Hope you're enjoying the AA Boys Tourney. Don't forget, we'll be back here next Saturday, March 31, for the 2 girls championship games. Be with us.
Billy Sandback now, left side of the floor, number 15, out to sophomore Tony Freeman. Right side to Robert Early. 2-point lead to Evanston. The Chargers looking for the equalizer. 4 minutes and 33 seconds to play.
Evanston in his zone now. 2-3, 2-on-2.
Middleman is Gene Paul, number 50 in the middle of that zone defense. Billy Sandback, right side. Here's Buchanan, almost lost it. Makes the retrieval.
St. Joe recognizes the zone. They're very patient when they attack zones.
Sandback to Buchanan on the baseline to Freeman for the drive. Can't get it down. The ball comes back to him.
Guess who got it?
He fell on the floor, and the ball carried him right back to it. Chargers still have it. Robert Early.
Big fly. Fans, you ready?
Tony Freeman's going to launch it from the twilight zone. No good. The ball hit up in the bracketing. Hit the guy wire up above the basket, and it goes over to Evanston. So actually, the Chargers did not take a particularly good shot there, Ron, after working the ball around.
No, they didn't get the kind of shot that they wanted.
Everett Stevens for Evanston. 2-point lead for the Wildcats, 3 minutes and 49 seconds to play. Everett Stevens brings it down. All the way to the hoop, up and in.
The fourth quarter, fan.
Stevens with a 7-point final period, 52-48, Evanston by 4. Chargers from Westchester St. Joseph need a bucket. Early, the punches, back iron. Rebound, Everett Stevens again. He's all over the place, taking charge down the stretch. Derrick Brown to Gene Paul, he travels. Francois Gene Paul got the ball left sideline, and they've got an inadvertent step, and the basketball goes right back now to the Chargers.
He got it in an unaccustomed spot for him. He's an inside player.
Evanston with a 4-point lead. Westchester St. Joseph with the ball with 3:17 to play. Tony Freeman. Freeman pulls it up. Got it. Freeman, 11-point second half. 17-point ball game. 52-50 Evanston. The Wildcats looking for their 32nd straight. Lewis Wall, free throw line extended left, number 44 on the dribble for Evanston. He comes back out front. Controlling is Everett Stevens to Lewis Wool. Wool challenged by Chris Buchanan. Right back to Everett Stevens, hemmed in, far sideline to Lewis Wool. And we're going to have a foul called on Robert Early. That's his 4th. 4 fouls on Early, and of course the bonus is in effect. Insofar as Evanston's concerned, so the Wildcats will be at the line. The person of Lewis Wool, who's been very efficient up there today. In fact, Wool is 5-8 out of 10 at the free throw line. 1-on-1 situation. 2-point game. Evanston 52, Westchester St. Joseph 50. 2:45 left. Mark Kimball with you, Ron Nikovich, and Frank Fasoni from the Assembly Hall. Wool throws it. Wildcats nudge to a 3-point lead.
83% foul shooter. Evanston's glad he's on the line, I'm sure.
I'm absolutely certain he's the guy they want up there, Frank. No question about that.
And as we earlier said, we're into that final 3-minute segment of the ball game. The faint of heart probably ought to leave.
One more throw to Lewis Wool. His club leads it by 3. Still by 3. Tipped by Everett Stevens over the back. He's called for the foul against Chris Buchanan. Stevens got in a jumping contest there with Buchanan, and that's a pretty good matchup, but he went over the back. And now that is the 5th team foul on Evanston. So for the first time in the second half, Westchester St. Joseph at the line. There you've seen Gene Pingatore, the 14-year coaching veteran out of Cicero, Illinois, who attended Loyola of Los Angeles. And he is watching his ball club battling tooth and nail, but currently they trail it by 3 with Chris Buchanan at the line. First attempt of the afternoon as a free throw shooter. No great shakes, 49%. Higher percentage from the field than from the line. And the Chargers need him. Got that one.
Looked good that time. He was loose and ready.
It's amazing sometimes how poor free throw shooters in a clutch situation become good free throw shooters, obviously because of the concentration factor.
For sure, particularly at the end of a ball game.
One more throw. It's a 2-point Evanston lead. Buchanan can pull St. Joseph within a point. He eyes it. He tries it. He got it.
2 at the right time.
53-52. Timeout. Evanston by 1. 2:43 to go. And one of your network spots 3 consecutive times. All right, Evanston with the inbounds pass. They lead it by a point. Plenty of pressure being applied by the Chargers of Westchester St. Joseph. Everett Stevens over the stripe. To Tony Mason. Short pull-up. No good, but he was fouled by Buchanan. That's 4 on Buchanan. So Buchanan and Robert Early both riding with 4 fouls for St. Joseph. Not only a key factor with 2:30 left, but should this game go to overtime, of course, it becomes very pivotal.
Exactly.
Tony Mason's going to be at the line. He is 2 out of 2 up there for the day. There you see Tony Mason, 6'4", 180, a 17-year-old senior, 61% free throw shooter.
A lot of tension in his legs to the free throw. Needs to relax a bit.
Well, the first one misses. The best Tony can do is give Evanston a 2-point lead.
And as close as this one is, don't forget Aurora West and Chicago Simeon next.
Second throw is good. Mason made 1 out of 2, so Evanston leads it by 2 at 54-52. 2:27 to go. Tony Freeman against Derrick Brown. Pounded, brings it across. Freeman accelerates down the lane, tries to dish off pass, and we're going to have a blocking foul on Jean Paul. Francois Jean Paul of Evanston called for the blocking foul, his second.
I don't know if we'll see in a replay, but if we did, we'd see, rather than accelerate, we'll see explode. Here it comes. Watch the change of place, the explosion right here.
Well, I'll tell you, Freeman goes where others fear to tread, doesn't he? He's right into the teeth of that defense, and he'll be at the line. Tony Freeman wants the free throw situation. And he is at the line right now. Got it.
Where he wants to be.
He's one of those guys that appears to do all of these wonderful things and looks like he's been at the library all afternoon. He doesn't even work up a sweat doing it. It's so cool.
54-53 now. Evanston by 1, and this thing could be tied if Freeman can connect. Got it. Tony
Amazing
Freeman
thing about the whole game.
A flashy sophomore guard from Westchester St. Joseph makes it 54 all. Over the stripe. On the right-handed dribble, Everett Stevens well out on the floor with Robert Early on him. Stevens drifting right. Checked off. Sails inside. Jumper in and out and back in again.
Well, this time he did what he failed to do early in the ball game. That's simply to pull up vertically and shoot the shot that he can do so well.
56-54 on the Stevens jumper. Evanston leads it by 2. Billy Sandbach to Chris Funches. Funches inside to Chris Buchanan to the hole.
That one we're going to have to look at.
Ball was swatted out by Everett Stevens, who really skied. Of course, the Charger bench wants a goaltending call.
Take a look at a replay on this and see if we get a good angle on it. The ball's going up, 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 up. It may be coming down slightly on that.
Inbound play. Buchanan misses. Buchanan boards. Buchanan misses. Rebound deflected to Derrick Brown. Brown off to Everett Stevens. Evanston has a 2-point lead and the ball with 1:36 to play. Everett Stevens walks the ball to the timeline. Robert Early's on him now. A good little screen set by Tony Mason, who was picked early off, but Stevens unable to drive on it. Now it's right back out to Everett Stevens.
And Sandbach is back on Stevens.
There's the feed to Gene Paul down low, right side to Tony Mason. Mason has the ball to Everett Stevens. Billy Sandbach back on Stevens, as Ron pointed out. Evanston, a little bit of a weave. They got a 2-point lead. 1:08 to go in the ball game. Derrick Brown out front. Brown works off to Tony Mason. 56-54. Evanston by 2, and they've got the basketball.
Yeah, there are a lot of quick hands out there waiting for that show of the ball.
As you see the clock down to 54 seconds and counting. Wildcats trying to put it away with a 2-point lead. They don't want to foul Lewis Wool because Wool is a spectacular free throw shooter. Here's Stevens. He whirl shoots and misses it and was fouled. Robert Early.
Well, we're coming down to the final 45 seconds.
That's all for Robert Early. Senior veteran fouls out with 45 seconds remaining for Westchester St. Joseph. And you can see Gene Pingator over on the bench. Let's see who he's going to insert.
Marcus Terry's coming back in.
Art, you think of all the little things in the game that's so tight like this coming down to the few seconds. The shot that Freeman didn't get the count just late at the half. The goaltend that didn't happen. That Stevens got it just before it was goaltending. It's such a game of inches, and in a game, I guess, like this, somebody has more points than the other, but nobody really loses.
I guess we call that retrospect. We look back and back, and we find all of those different things that Frank pointed out that can sway a game one way or the other.
Now we're going to have a charge timeout. St. Joseph takes it. 45 seconds left. Evanston 56, St. Joe 54. And one of your network sponsors is a lot of time left. 45 seconds. Free throw. Good. And the All-Stater does what All-Staters are supposed to do. He fires it in. He's at a 10-point final quarter. 17-point ball game. His average is 17.9. He scored 31 yesterday. 57-54 Evanston.
I wonder what his average is in there in the fourth quarter.
Points per minute of play.
Right.
Second throw by Stevens is good. 58-54 Evanston by a couple of buckets. Here's Tony Freeman down with 40 seconds to go. for the Chargers. He shoots. He got it. Tony Freeman with a spectacular effort. 58-56. Evanston lead down to 2. Half a minute to go in the ball game.
Watch the hand.
Here's Everett Stevens up with 26 seconds left. Left side to Gene Paul, and the foul whistled, and this one's going to go to Billy Standback. 1-1. Here's the free throw situation.
Bringing John Paul to the free throw line.
Now, he's only a 27% free throw shooter with not a lot of attempts, so this is a tough situation for the youngster.
There's Gene Pingator coaching intently, as he always does, and Herb Williams up in front of the Evanston bench as well. Gene Paul is the player they wanted to foul, obviously, because he is not a good free throw shooter on the season. 1-1 situation. Evanston 58, St. Joe 56. 23 seconds to go. As Frank Massoni says, another throat tightener. Gene Paul at the line. On the way. Missed it. Rebound. Chris Bunches. 21
to the hands of you-know-who.
St. Joe looking for the tying bucket. They're down 2. Jump shot is partially deflected. Ball is fought for. Traveling violation. Going to go back to St. Joe. Tony Mason got it with 13 seconds. He traveled after the shot was blocked. Tony Freeman got in the paint and tried to get the shot off. There's Herb Williams, the Evanston coach. He's intense. Gene Pingator is intense. The ball clubs
Changing their defense. I think they're going into a zone defense for the final 13. If St. Joe's going to win, they're going to have to win from the outside.
Only 7 seconds left. Buchanan can't get it down. The ball hit on the side of the bracketing. Evanston hangs on. It's all over. Chris Buchanan had a shot inside. Couldn't get the ball forced up over the rim, and it's all over.
Well, Frank called them Destiny's Darlings. Or darling.
Well, the amazing Evanston Wildcats, who just refuse to lose, are now 32-0 on the season as they move to the state championship matchup against the winner of the next ball game upcoming. There you see the bedlam on the floor here at the Assembly Hall. What a great basketball game.
Absolutely great game, and it just went right down to the wire. And I suppose as we think back on what Frank had to say, as we look back on a ball game and the various situations that developed that could have been, the various could have been, the ifs and the maybes.
Okay, it's all over, and well, we're going to see that last shot.
And here's certainly one of the maybes right here.
This is Chris
Buchanan. Going inside. That's Bunches.
Buchanan.
That's Buchanan on a shot that obviously is 99%er most of the time.
Yep, and that was the end of the ball game. Evanston wins at 58-56. One of your network sponsors, DeKalb Pfizer Genetics.
So I knew we were going to win 61.
What advice would you give a coach who's at a state tournament for his very first time?
Well, I think preparation is... I have a philosophy of offense and defense. You got to sell that. You got to motivate kids, young men, to play hard and give their best. And of course, that's not hard here in Collinsville because of the tradition of winning. But I think you've got to prepare not after you get to Champaign, but you got to know how you're going to get there, and then make preparation to get there. And you do it on the floor by practicing 2 or 3 hours a day, getting the team ready, and building up confidence. And I think that's, discipline, confidence are 2 great words in the field of athletics. I would make sure that I didn't get to Champaign too early. And many coaches get there too early, and they spend too much time looking over the university or practicing in the gyms around Champaign, and that's not good for our team. The biggest thing you do when you get to Champaign, since it's a great event in the state of Illinois, is to get your players to relax and feel like they're going to win the state championship. They can. I always tell my players, you should think that you're the best player or the best team on the floor, and you shouldn't be afraid, because fear is a great thing. Is the worst thing that should happen to an athlete. The other team should be afraid of you. So that's, I think, our press down through the years developed that. They'd come out here, they thought that we were going to press them when they got off the bus.
When you were coaching Collinsville's teams, they were known for their pressing zone defense. How did you develop that defense?
We started fooling around with some kind of a zone press back in, well, maybe the late 40s or the 50s, but we didn't adopt it as a full defense until 1961. A lot of teams were pressing, you know, using a zone trapping defense, but we had a couple of three words that were important. We said the man wasn't important, the zone wasn't important, but the most important thing on the floor was the ball. Therefore, it became a ball defense. And then I guess when we adopted in 1961, early in the year, Bogey Redmond broke his leg, and we didn't have any big guys to play a zone, or maybe we felt like the man-to-man wasn't good enough for us. We had a team meeting, and we asked them what kind of defense they wanted to play, and they said they wanted to play the ball press, so we went after them. We'd sold them the type of defense, you know. But I did have a book, a small book on a shifting ball defense, and that's where I got the name of the pressing ball defense. It was used out in Kansas back in 1926, and it was just a little pamphlet. And he talked about a shifting ball defense, and that's where I got the idea of trapping in the corners and trapping on at the center line. And I guess a lot of the philosophy is taken from that one fellow out there in Kansas in 1926.
You've been quoted as saying, good athletes make great teams. Any athletes over your years here that stick out in your mind?
I had some outstanding athletes, dedicated, they had great leadership, had great patience, they worked like the Dickens.
Well, Coach Fletcher was one that demanded a lot of hard work, and I think I learned early that you don't get anything by not working, and he was a stickler for detail, for fundamentals, and I think this has helped me in life, knowing that I had to do the little things and had to do them well if I was to succeed, and I think this pretty much comes from his teachings.
When Coach taught us to be able to be a successful basketball team, it's folks just see the basketball game. They don't see all the practices that you attend and all the hours you put in. So what I really got out of athletics, especially under Coach Fletcher, is that to do a good job, you have to put in the hours. So like some of the colleagues that in business may not put in the hours, for me, you have to put in the hours, you have to pay the price to do a good job. And this is what, in basketball, this is what we did. We put in a lot of hours of practicing and realized that it paid off on the gym floor. And now it pays off in making an income for your family.
Fundamentals of the game, shooting the basketball correctly, playing good defense, and also I think self-discipline of the players, and have a lot of discipline with your kids, and I think those things have carried over in the program.
I recall Coach Fletcher demanding dedication from his athletes, demanding hard work. He himself worked hard as a coach. I would hope that all of the athletes that have played for him acquired some of those dedication skills over the years. Those are qualities that are valuable for any of us. And I mean, Mr. Fletcher epitomized hard work and discipline, certainly for his players.
In 35 years of coaching, Virgil Fletcher coached 22 All-Staters and 4 All-Americans. His career record was 789 wins with only 216 losses. He took 14 teams to the state tournament, 2 of them champions. But most importantly, he influenced thousands of lives. In December of 1983, Coach Fletcher was named to the National Basketball Hall of Fame. I'm Rebecca Paul of WICS for the Illinois High School Association Network.
Virgil Fletcher was a winner. So are these teams coming up here. Aurora West and Chicago Simeon, combined records of 58-2. It's the second semifinal of the day. It's coming next. One of your network